Hi everyone, it's Belle from Belle's World of Books. I'm going to read chapter 19 in my book that I have been reading called The Last Summer of Us. So I hope you enjoy this one's for your older readers and adults. Wait, an actual bed? I can't quite believe what I'm hearing. That whole on the road staying in tents thing lasted about as long as a packet of crisps near Jared. Not exactly surprising, moaned Stefan, whatever he says. I'm relieved. Granted, it's only been one night since I slept in bed. My bed. But somehow the idea of not having to sleep in a tent tonight is already exotic. Maybe because time has twisted and stretched since I walked out of my front door. Maybe because I have. Although, perhaps I'm not so much twisting as bouncing back, rewinding and replaying, rebounding. Becoming what I was before, but more. For better or for worse. The same, but different. The hostel was Stefan's idea. I knew he'd crack. Him with his, yeah sure, we're camping. He might have been a scout, but that was a long time ago. And when he saw the hostel right down by the beach in the next village along, the coast, he made such a big fuss from the passenger seat. Yes, I've been relegated to the back again. What can you do? That Jared didn't really have any choice other than to pull over. I wonder whether the hostel, being slap bang next to one of the best pubs round this way, and one which happens to be a bit flimsy on the ID policy in the summer, has anything to do with it. Not that I'm a cynic or anything, you understand? This is a surfing sweet spot of the coast, hence a hostel, and the astonishing predictability of the whole row of old VW camper vans parked up along the road with boards leaning against them, not to mention the townies sitting on the benches outside the pub, wetsuits rolled down to the waist, dripping gently onto the pavement. I swear I just saw one of them shake a head full of bleached hair back, braying something about the lifestyle man. Yeah, right. Alright for some, isn't it? The ones who can lure themselves into a van and drive off into the sunset when the mood takes them. The one who can come and go as they please, who can get out if they want to. But then, looking at them and listening to them, I guess the trade-off for having that particular lifestyle is to be insufferable. I don't want to say this word because it's an naughty word. So it's all a question of balance. While Stefan and Jared attempt to deploy their considerable charm at the hostel to get us beds for the night, and when I say charm, I mean it in the loosest possible sense, ditto considerable. I cross the road and sit on the wall above the beach, dangling my feet over. There's a big drop here. The slipway's further along, and beneath me is the part of the beach where all the dinghies are tied up, far above the reach of the high water line. They're used for sail lessons, mostly by kids, and usually they're all busy all summer long. But looking down at them now, I don't think some have been in the water for a long time. They're high and dry and safe on the shore, but that's not what the boats are built for, is it? For waiting, for staying safe. They're meant for sailing, meant to be out on the waves. Amy has sent me a text message. It's brief and to the point and tells me nothing more and nothing less than I was expecting. Dad into treatment tomorrow, 6 weeks residential. We'll take him. You want to stay with me? Let me know when you're coming back. Kiss, kiss, here. That word again, treatment. Weirdly, the first thing I think about is his office. I wonder if everyone he works with knows. I wonder if they already did. Would hearing this be a relief to them? Some of the people from his work came to the funeral, and they were almost as careful not to get too close to him as they were to be polite to me. But treatment. Maybe it isn't too late for him. Maybe I should take that as a sign, as some kind of encouragement. Maybe. The sun is finally on its way down into the water. It looks like it's hovering right above the surface, just hanging there, and the evening has brought a calm that's still enough for the sea to reflect it perfectly. In the bay ahead of me, there are two suns, one sinking into the waves as its twin rises to meet it, and then they're both gone. I half wonder whether Jared wants company on his great American journey, whether Stefan can smuggle us both out his suitcase when he leaves. Everything here feels such a mess. Can you blame me for wanting to run? There's laughter behind me and footsteps, and then someone shoves a ratty piece of laminated paper in front of me. Dinner, isn't it? Says Stefan, dropping into a slouch beside me, swinging his leg over the seawall. Jared follows a moment later, but oddly, he doesn't sit on the other side of Stefan. He sits much more to my surprise on the other side of me. This is unusual. It takes me momentarily to forget what I'm meant to be doing. I look blankly at the paper Steph just handed me, then at Steph. He looks blankly back at me. What? He says. What? I say. Food. He taps the front of the sheet and I finally get myself together enough to actually look at it. The wide menu is printed in wonky capital letters across the top. Dinner, right? Yes. So not expecting me to eat the paper then. Good. Let me guess. Pie? I hand the sheet back to him. They both make appreciative noises. After all, it can only be a matter of half an hour since they scoffed that packet of chicken wings that had somehow got left in the car. Me sitting in a hot car all afternoon, I pass thanks. Not having the ostrich steak. Still funny it is. I'm not sure Jared should. Not now. He's bonded with them and everything. It'd be like eating one of his own. The slightest wobble in Stefan's voice gives away just how hard he's trying to keep a straight face. Jared nods calmly, chucking a pebble down onto the beach. He manages to hit one of the dinghies. There's a fiberglassy clunk. Whoops! Jared glances out to see whether anyone heard. Only me. Even Stefan's too busy pawing at the menu. You'd think he was a starving man. Looking at him, he's reading every single thing on there. Even though he knows as well as I do that he'll order a pie, because given the choice between pie and anything else in the world, untold riches, wisdom beyond the rich of men, he will always choose pie. The pie always wins. It feels fake somehow, this, like we're playing at being grown-ups, frauds, and maybe we are, just playing, but I don't feel like I'm a fake. Yet here we are, sitting on a wall and ordering dinner from a pub like civilised people. Mind you, the second I think this, Steph lets out an almighty great belch and sniffs loudly. Beer, he says, and rubs his hands together. You're disgusting. Better out than in. He looks revoltingly pleased with himself. Almost as revolting is the faint waft of cigar smoke that's lingering around him like a cloud of cartoon flies. I flap my hand dramatically and he rolls his eyes. Such a grouch, he says. Steph, I say sweetly, leaning back to look at him as he stands up, menu in hand. He raises an eyebrow at me. Scampi? I bat my eyelids in what I hope is an adorable, irresistible manner. You want to get that looked at, he says, tapping the edge of the menu against the flat palm of his hand. Might have conjunctivitis. Funny, I know. He grins and ducks over the road into the pub. Behind us, one of the bar staff is bringing out lanterns to set the tables clustered around the front of the pub. She's got an armful of them, and we have half to 10 to watch her weaving between the surfers and the locals and a group who look like they're pretty much exactly the same as us. And are probably staying in the hostel too. There's a glitter as she drops one, and before I can even blink, Jared's off the wall and across the road and he's helping her pick it up. Taking the others off her and setting them on the end of the nearest table for her to light. The bleach blonde wetsuit surfer boys were right next to her, and not a single one of them moved. And what's that sudden sour spike I can feel somewhere inside my chest? It feels a lot like jealousy, but it can't be that. Not when Jared is simply being Jared. But he smiles at her and says something that's too quiet for me to hear, and she laughs and hands him a lantern, and suddenly there's fingernails raking down the inside of my ribs. I think it's fair to say that this is an overreaction, just a teeny one. The real shock, though, is that I feel anything at all. Because this is Jared, and this is Jared, and you all right? Jared asks, sitting back down on the wall. He sets the lantern down between us, and the little flame inside it flickers, then straightens and steadies. Me? Oh, sure. I slam my hands underneath my knees so you can't see them shaking. Because this is Jared, and suddenly I understand. How's a hand? There's still no sign of Stefan. He's got talking to someone, that's my guess. Stefan attracts conversation. He just has one of those faces, one of those demons. The kind of general Stefanness which suggests to people that yes, he'd love to stop for a chat. The thing is, he usually would. It's fine. I'm used to it. The hand. Jared's question takes me by surprise. I actually hold up both hands and look at them as though up till that point I've forgotten what a hand is. I realise how stupid this looks and put my hands back down again. Is it sore? Jared nods towards my right hand. Ah, he means I walked Becca. Was that only yesterday? Feels like weeks ago, months. And if that was yesterday, the funeral was only the day before. How does that work? Already it feels like it was so long ago that it may as well have been another lifetime. Like it happened to someone else. I wonder if it did. I'm different, I think. I didn't feel it happen, didn't see it, but something in me has changed. Amy's text about my father might have broken the me of 2 days ago, the funeral limpet, who was pretending so hard to be something she was not. She was the thin ice over the winter river, the single glass sheet that covers the deepest well. I am something else, someone else. There are no ghosts, nothing looming over me, not now, and somewhere in the distance, far ahead of me in the dark, I can see a light. A single lantern with a little flame that flickers then steadies. Cracked and crazed I may still be, but maybe, just maybe, the cracks are showing signs of growing smaller. Not by much, not yet, but give them time. Perhaps I'm not made of glass after all. Perhaps I'm made of something stronger. I know I'm as shocked by that thought as you are. My hand. Oh yeah, it's fine, I mumble, rubbing at my knuckles. And it is, which presumably proves that I hit like a girl. Were you expecting? What could you have broken or something? Yeah, Becca's face. What a loss that would have been. He doesn't answer, but when I look around, he's watching me. His eyes are searching my face, taking in every part of it, drinking me in. He's still sitting there, silent, watching me, when Stefan reappears. How the hell can you see anything? He says, setting down a small round metal tray with glasses on it. Twinkly bloody lanterns, my ass. It's too dark. It's called night, Steph. You see, when the sun goes to bed. Alright, Limpet, don't get smart or I won't tell you what just happened. You went in to order food and got lost. You had to go and hunt down the cow for your pal or yourself. Jared joins in. Cow? Don't know why you bothered. There's a whole load of ostriches up the hill. We dissolve into giggles. Stefan tries to scowl, but his frown breaks and he starts shaking his head and laughing. And I suppose we'll be using you as bait, will we? At least I like me. Jared laughs. Let's see you being smug about it when they're eating you, right? Are you planning on throwing me into them whole, or just feeding them my dismembered limbs? Not sure yet. Stefan takes a swig of his drink and wags a finger across me at Jared. Sleep with one eye open, boyo. Enough. I hold my hands up in surrender. What's this amazing thing that you were threatening to not tell us? I nudged Stefan, who lurched sideways in an attempt not to spill his drink. Jared, automatically forgiven, as always, reaches across me and clinks his fingers impatiently until Steph passes him a glass. So you know how Get Thin has a band? How could we forget? I finally get my drink. The saga of Gethin's band is an epic, sprawling tale of loyal betrayal and a crashing inability to find a drummer who can keep time, reaching as far back as the days when Stefan and Jared were in a football club with him. Since then, Gethin's band has been through good times, their demo getting placed by one of the new music DJs in Cardiff, and bad, pretty much all of the rest of it. Lately though, they appear to have got themselves together and have even been playing in public. Once or twice, members of said public have even paid for the privilege of hearing them, which I'm sure is as much of a shock to Gethin and company as it is to the rest of us. The long and short of Steph's news is that somehow, I suspect, massive bribery on the other part of Gethin's father, the band, have found themselves on the brill of a not insignificant local music festival tomorrow night. The catch being that, technically, said festival is supposed to be vaguely folk flavoured. Gethin, in his wisdom, has decided that the way around this is to have someone play the violin on stage with them. Guess who's asked? Right then, I'm going to leave that at there because I don't want to spoil the full book. But if you liked what you heard, please let me know. This book is retailed at £7.99. Thank you for listening, and I will see you all soon. Take care.